The Golden Gate gave Vegas its first heartbeat. Now it's the first casino to lose its dealers, its tables, and its humanity. This is the story of how the Golden Gate inspired the first that built the city, and how piece by piece it lost the very soul that made it legendary. I'm going to share with you the story of the rise and fall of the heart of Las Vegas. All right, let's go back a little bit. It's 1906. Las Vegas is literally a dirt spot on a map. It's barely got even a railroad stop. If you're coming through, you're basically on your way to the silver mines or passing through into California. There's not much really going on. There's 100 or so people living in Vegas. There's wooden sidewalks, there's tents, there's a saloon, but there's not much to look at if you're coming through here. There's no reason to stop in Las Vegas. And then someone builds a 2-story brick building. It becomes the Hotel Nevada. It has just 10 rooms, but it's the first hotel. The Hotel Nevada gave Las Vegas legitimacy. It gave people a reason to stop. You didn't have to just pass through town anymore. You could stay. We were a destination. You could do business here. It put Las Vegas on the map. It was the beginning of something massive. Every property in town can trace its lineage back to the destination that Hotel Nevada created right there on 1 Fremont Street, which would become the Golden Gate. A year after Hotel Nevada opened its doors, still barely a town, they made the decision to install a lifeline. At the time, one of the biggest innovations that they could put into their hotel. It was a phone. We take a lot of things for granted. When you walk into a hotel today, you're looking for the Wi-Fi, you have internet on your phone, but can you imagine the very first phone? Up until then, the only way to communicate with other people was snail mail. The Hotel Nevada installed a phone, and the phone made it a destination in and of itself. It created a community, a sense of belonging. People would come to the gate, and then it was still Hotel Nevada, just to use the phone, to congregate around the phone, to talk about the phone, to marvel the phone. The phone became its own thing and made the Golden Gate, or Hotel Nevada at the time, a destination. You know what's crazy if you think about it? The phone meant prestige. It was innovation, it was modern, but can you imagine if there was only one phone in your village? How special that place would be? That the gate was the only phone in the village. I can see people coming from other towns just to come to that hotel to be like, oh my God. It was either that or you had to wait, a week to send mail. By the way, back in those days, a lot of people didn't read and write. You wanted to talk, right? So people could understand what the hell you were saying. Imagine if you didn't read and write, the letter didn't come out so well, right? You know what I mean? Now let's fast forward a little bit. It's still the Hotel Nevada. And they went ahead and installed the very first electric sign. And all it said was hotel. That's where it all started. You know what I mean? Because every other store after that needed their own electric sign. They had to stand out. That evolved, and boy, did the other casinos got real funky with that idea, right? Because they all tried to one-up each other, but it all started with that one sign. The Hotel Nevada, which would become the Golden Gate, was literally the spark that set off all the neon glow that was to come in the decades and decades, the 100 years since then. And it's what made Vegas stand out. You know what's so funny? The neon looks so good. They're just so expensive to maintain. The LED signs, you just set them and forget them, right? You just, you put them up there and they last forever. The neons, the gas goes out. When you went downtown years ago, even on the strip, those neon signs just set everything apart. You go down the strip now, it's like lots of other modern cities. It's just non-stop digital signage. That's why we have a museum dedicated to all the neon signs. That's how significant they are. Well, that's just it. We're not unique. There's you can go to Biloxi, Atlantic City. We're less and less unique. There's no doubt about it. All right, so let's fast forward 1930s. And summers here in Las Vegas are absolutely brutal. It's 110 degrees. You got fans going. You have ice being served to you on cans. That's right. That's how people kept cool. But here comes Hotel Nevada, the great innovator, who decides to install air conditioning. Yes, they were the first to install the first air conditioning here in Las Vegas. Now, why does it matter? In a hotel that's trying to promote hospitality, right? Where we talk about the first or the heartbeat of something, especially where humans are involved. If I've got a little AC running through the lobby, guess what? Probably a lot of other humans there enjoying the air conditioning. You know where they're not at? Any other place in town. Because when it's 110 degrees, I can only imagine everybody running down to Hotel Nevada to hang out by the phone and enjoy the AC. And now you have an environment that's very conducive for humans to interact with each other. It's a community born out of a hotel. It literally promotes that casino as a destination and becomes a catalyst, of course, for every other property making air conditioning a thing. All right, so there's a period in the 1930s where the Hotel Nevada gets renamed to Sal Segev, which is Las Vegas backwards, or those two words individually backwards, right? By 1955, here come the Italians. And this is where Sal Segev becomes renamed the Golden Gate. And now in 1955, gambling is legalized, and these Italian Americans proceed to create a casino floor, casino environment in the first floor of the Sal Segev. So it's 1955, we have casino, and they're trying to figure out how to get people into the casino to gamble. And the big idea is to offer a 50-cent shrimp cocktail, which is served in this tulip cup. And this would become a mainstay of the hotel from literally 1955 to the 2000s. Now here's why this is so important, why this I consider one of the biggest milestones for the Golden Gate, not to mention the fact of becoming a casino, right? But this shrimp cocktail was the value play. It became a mainstay of, or that type of value play became a mainstay of every other property in town up until recently, of course, because Vegas became known for being the value destination, and every casino had some type of value offering. Not to say every casino. There were casinos that catered to, you know, different types of people, but for the most part, this was the precursor of the cheap steak and the 99-cent pancakes and the 49-cent orange juices and all those other special deals that came after it, because you know, everybody wanted to compete. Everybody wanted to give tourists a reason to go to their casino. And you know what they also did? They put up their electric signs advertising their own deals, their own specials. And when I was there, I would watch people line up hour after hour, day after day. It was a thing that made the Golden Gate special and famous. People came for that shrimp cocktail. It represented a real value and a real reason to visit that casino floor. So I'm a dealer there. It's 1991. So while you were on your shift, you would get a coupon, and you would take that coupon to the back, and you would redeem your coupon for a hamburger and a shrimp cocktail, or a hamburger and fries. And let me just tell you how tired I got of that damn shrimp cocktail, dude. What was interesting is they didn't serve it with jumbo shrimp. It was a cup of little shrimps, you know what I mean, but full of shrimp.
They have to be selling those at Ross, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it was literally just a liter. It was like a coupon, a reason to go. It's literally like Costco hot dogs. Like the Horseshoes had a cafe downstairs. It was famous for this New York steak dinner. It was like $8, $9, a whole steak dinner. And even if they didn't make any money, you were almost guaranteed to lose a few dollars on the casino floor. You almost felt obligated to play. The Tropicana once had a steak, a filet mignon, and lobster with all the fixings, everything in it for $20, dude. The Riviera lost leaders with the shows. They had 5 shows, all cheap. But that whole property was all about just moving bodies across the casino floor. It's all gone. In 1991, I was hired as a dealer at the Golden Gate. And let me tell you about the gate in 1991. It was all about the people and gambling. Even being the small property that it was. Didn't have a lot of rooms, but people came to the gate because of dealers like me, bosses like Sal Bruno, and the experience, the very tactile experience you got by interacting at that casino. Back then, they used silver on the game. Blackjack dealers, when someone tipped you, you would take the silver and you put it in your pocket. Every day I went home, my pocket was black from, the silver. It wasn't a bougie experience. We were all there for you. People came for the conversation. They came for the engagement, the interaction, the tactile ways that they interact with the space. And that's what made the Golden Gate very special when I worked there. Years later, I got a lot of nostalgia for working at the Gate. At the time, I was just a poor young kid trying to get on in the world, and I didn't realize how pivotal a property that place, the Golden Gate, would be to me over my career. And it's literally why I am doing this video right now. Let me share with you a few stories and to kind of really zoom in on why the Golden Gate was such a fantastic gambler's joint. It's a true story. It happened while I worked there, and I saw it with my own eyes. The Golden Gate, when I was there, was a 25-cent table. A lot of people would buy in for literally $5. We have this guy. He buys in every day $5. He puts 50 cents on the come. If he wins that first bet, he will double it or save 50 cents to take odds. He would be in an entire dollar. So let's say he wins the come bet, it's an 11 or a 7. He'll stack it up, put it on the pass line. If it goes on a number, it comes back, he'll save 50 cents to use for odds. This is what we call a grinder. This guy is grinding the game on a whole nother level. So this one individual started with $5. Before I left, he had run up $5 into $10,000. It's an incredible hand. The table's hot all day. He's running these come bets up. And listen, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't have believed it. You would think this man would cash out. There's no cashing out for this guy. He's got no exit plan, no budget plan. He's just literally in, all the way in. He's got nowhere to go. He rents a weekly downtown. His entire life experience is built into the crap table. So we leave for the day. He's up 10 grand. The bosses are not happy, by the way. That's a lot of money back then. I come back the very next day. The same man is leaning at the table, and now he's betting place bets across. So the place bets across on that type of game was $1,600, and he has a bank envelope from the First Interstate Bank, and he has $40,000 in it. And I get to deal the first consistent black action. The story was he went from the gate to the horseshoe and then waited for Sal to show up and our shift to show up so that he could play again, buy in with his $40,000 and take some more money, because that's where it all started. Now, in the meantime, apparently, he had bought himself 2 things, actually 3 things. He got himself a new black and white TV for his room, a pair of shoes, and he treated this other gambler that was on the game to a haircut. Those are the 3 things he bought. Shows up back at the gate, and to the absolute delight and pleasure of Sal, he lost all his money back in those 8 hours. Literally lost it all. $1,600, gone. And you know what the funny thing was? He wasn't sad. He didn't cry. He wasn't depressed. He didn't even get angry. It was literally another day at the casino. The bet was on whether or not he would come back the very next day and buy in for $5. And you know what? You already know the answer. I'm sure you do. He did. 100%. He came back the very next day, bought in for $5, and played birds like nothing had even happened. And guess where all that happened? It happened at the gate. And there were lots of stories like that, and people came to the gate to have those kinds of experiences. This is what made the gate such a spectacular place, and that's where that story took place. Now let's talk about the fall of the Golden Gate, where it all started to go wrong. In 2008, the gate went through a renovation. In the process of doing that, they took out all the things that made the Golden Gate special and unique. Then comes the crime against humanity. In 2010, they get rid of the shrimp cocktail. The shrimp cocktail was the thing that got the people in the door. What else do you got? It's the shrimp cocktail that people whispered about in the cab. It's the shrimp cocktail that people remembered. There's no more, even today, people are still talking about the damn shrimp cocktail, and there isn't any shrimp cocktail at the Golden Gate. In fact, not only did they get rid of the shrimp cocktail, do you know what they eventually replaced that whole cafe? They put in Dupars. I actually love Dupars. They make great pancakes, but they're holy cow expensive. How the hell do they go from $2, or I don't remember what they left off the shrimp cocktail at, but to go from that to bougie pancakes just seemed like, you know, a bit out of touch with the people that made the Golden Gate a destination. So now, on the Gate, I'm gonna try and become this exclusive resort, a more exclusive resort, you see? Where before, I was focused on everybody. Now I'm gonna focus on fewer people. And I'm gonna create this very engaging pit. They even had dealers with like the old school dealer uniforms and the rolled up sleeves. And they tried to create this environment that they thought felt special. Boutique works better on the Strip. You have more space, you have bigger rooms, you have amenities, you got spas, you have all sorts of things you can write into that equation. And guess what? The Gate's got nothing. It had to remain the people's choice. And as they moved away from the people's choice, it became the margin choice. I think less people. You know what you get when you have less people? You start making other decisions to try to influence the direction of less people. Let's get rid of the table games dealers. Let's become that special. How do you stop the heart? How do you stop the heartbeat? How do you take out the soul of the property? You literally take out the tables and the dealers. And I wonder, what's the reason to experience the Gate? Well, guess what you won't have to do at the Gate when you go there? You won't have to socialize. You won't have a dealer to talk to. You won't be high-fiving for that, you know, great blackjack hand or that long roll on craps. All that is gone. So when you go there, that's the experience. And guess what that experience is going to provide for you? There's not a lot of memories. You might remember that you won money, but you won't remember your favorite dealer. That's gone. It's all gone. The heartbeat has literally been stopped. The soul has been sucked out of that property, and in its stead is a soulless electronic machine. You're welcome. Officially, the Golden Gate became the first downtown casino to erase the human element almost entirely. I think they left the bar. And this is my worry. What happened at the Gate is going to now be something contagious that will influence other casinos. And we hope that doesn't happen. I don't ever want to see a property fail. I want to see businesses do well. I want to see people have a good time. All those things are true about Vegas. I want Vegas to succeed. What's going to suck is if Golden Gate as an electronic destination is successful. I don't think it will be. I think without the pit and the tables, what's the reason to go? I mean, why are their machines better? There's lots of other properties downtown where you can have both. I hope it's not the lesson that influences other properties. I hope, as I know many of you, many of our fans or many people that watch us have told me, there's now zero reason to go to the Gate. And I hope that's true. I hope with all my heart that this proves less than successful. And trust me, casinos are watching, right? Casinos are absolutely watching to see how this plays out. Maybe Derek has something up his sleeve, but I don't think so. What I hope is that the dealers come back, that people see it for what it is, finally, and we put the nail in the coffin that is the ETG conversation. But you know what? I'm very interested to hear what you think. Did you ever go to the Gate? Did you ever, have a big win? Do you remember the dealers there? Do you remember me? Maybe I dealt to you back in the day. And what do you think about a casino that gets rid of its table games? Are you still incentivized to go? Is there a reason to go? This type of thing. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And with that, I bid you adieu. And then off to Keno to unwind.
Well, the truth is,